Good morning, Copers. Good morning, guys. What up? How are you? Man, I'm out of sorts. I was zoning out there on the music. Didn't start the show. I don't have the memes up like I normally do. The fucking goal bar's all messed up. It's just one of those days, you guys. Just one of those days. At least the mic is working, it sounds like. We had some audio issues yesterday, and then when I turned on OBS today, there was like a little warning. It said like your mic is connected, or your mic is unmuted, but there's no signal. Great. A new set of problems. Wish me luck, guys. Tomorrow's my civics test. Tomorrow morning, I am driving to Seattle, and I will be conducting an interview. There's one question that, as always, I am dreading, and I'm still trying to strategize how to navigate it. It is the dreaded "what do you do for a living" question. But sometimes they will have like a swearing in ceremony or whatever like later, and you'll just get it that day. So with a little luck, and if everything goes to plan, you guys could come back on Thursday morning to a bona fide.
Dick Toll sent $5 continued donations for the Brother Nathaniel demoralization campaign.
Oh no, come on, it's not like that. But thank you for the 5. You may come back on Thursday morning to see that your host is a bona fide American citizen. Yeah, what do you do for a living? I'm a far-right influencer. I run a racist podcast. Pro-white activist. Yeah, okay, anyway. Gonna have to try to be as vague as possible. I get by. I make ends meet. You know. I do some stuff. Gonna have to put a little more thought into that one. Yeah, yeah. The funny thing is like the test is like verbal. I'm pretty sure like the person just sits there and asks you questions. And I keep joking with my wife when she quizzes me, like she'll be like, "Who is Susan B. Anthony?" And I'll be like, "Susan B. Anthony played a key role in the movement for women's suffrage." Spit on the ground. Imagine doing that at the actual interview. Gaming streamer. Hey. Could that work? And then I just show them the iGamer YouTube channel with 249 subscribers. Hey, that's not the worst idea I've ever heard in my life. I'm a streamer. You might want to check out my channel, iGamer, on YouTube. Anyway, let's get into the news. We had, of course, in New York City, a mass shooting. People were talking about this yesterday on Twitter. We had posts like this going out.
I'm not trying to expose where I live in New York City, but there is an active shooter outside of my apartment, right outside my apartment right now. He is an AR-15. The FBI is here. The police are here. There have already been police officers shot. I'm looking up at the police helicopter right there. Guys, this is actually outside of my apartment. An AR-15. I think already 5 police officers have been shot. Holy shit. I'm not leaving. I could see it from my apartment. I'm not trying to expose where I live.
Mayor Adams showed up at the site.
New Yorkers, this is Mayor Eric Adams, and I'm here at the scene of 51st and Park Avenue. Unfortunately, we had
I'm actually between jobs, but I'm really hoping to get welfare once I have citizenship.
here where with multiple injuries, the perpetrator, the known perpetrator.
Awful audio. You guys think my audio is bad? Check out the mayor of New York. So people are speculating a lot about who could this be. Is it going to be like a Muslim terrorist? Is it related to the Palestine-Israel stuff? Is it a Free Palestine guy? CNN speculated for no apparent reason that it was probably a white man. We'll come back to that in a minute, but it ended up being Shane Takamura. No, Tamura, apparently Blackanese man, apparently a Japanese black man by the looks of it. We're here with our local reporter, Shane Takamura. Oh no, the pro race mixer has been awfully quiet since this one dropped. You guys thought it was another white male mass shooting. No, turns out it's a genetic abomination that could only be created in the Tower of Babel. And according to this Bloomberg report from 6 hours ago, which I have not watched, he was targeting the NFL. New York shooting gunman targeted the NFL.
A gunman has killed at least 4 people and himself at an office tower in Midtown Manhattan. Joining us now is Bloomberg's Miles Miller. Miles, thank you so much for joining us. And you've been working tirelessly reporting on this story. Just bring us the latest and what we understand about the motive of this individual.
Right. So this suspect drives cross country, starting in Nevada. What stops?
Well, Hapas are white and Asian. I don't know the term for black and Asian other than Blasian.
Through Colorado, New Jersey yesterday, parks his car right outside of this building, 345 Park Avenue, and gets out in the middle of rush hour traffic with an M4 rifle. He goes into this building, which is owned by Rudin, a large property management company here in the city, and the first person he encounters is an off-duty police officer who's working what's called a paid detail, so an officer in a uniform, but not working at a precinct, and shoots him in the back. And he continues shooting in that lobby. He shoots a security guard. He goes into an elevator bank destined for the NFL headquarters, which is on the 5th floor. But because this is an elevator bank that the buttons are on the outside, he didn't push any buttons. He winds up going to the 33rd floor, which is
highest IQ. Marato. I don't know why the power chat didn't play. That's a good one though. Marato. Marato. I am, how you say, Marato.
Is the headquarters of Rudin Management.
So he wanted to go to the 5th floor, but he didn't push any buttons. He didn't push the button on the outside of the elevator. Got to the 33rd, which then... Yes, then the conspiracy theorists went crazy because he shot himself on the 33rd floor. Of course, we all know the 33rd degree Masonic temple, you know, something or other, the Illuminati, the all-seeing eye, you know what I'm saying? The Anunnaki, what is it? Anaki? What are the lizard people who made humans? The Anunnaki? You know, it's all coming together. It's all coming together.
And when in that he's
Anunnaki, is that, what is it?
That part of the building.
Yeah, it is Anunnaki. Came back to me at the last second there.
Shoots another person who is an employee of Rudin, and then ultimately turns the gun on himself. He's in reporting that we've gotten overnight is that he had a letter, handwritten letter in his pocket, in which he says this is all about CTE, which is a chronic condition that football players get, and you can only really.
Yes, CTE, the concussion trauma. You know, you take too many hits to the head and you are retarded. Obviously, there is some truth to that. And it's why you should always take any kind of head injury really seriously. And you should also just try to avoid, you know, if you're going to do something like boxing or whatever, you should really understand the long-term negative downside, or playing football or whatever. But, also, a lot of black people, it's just kind of cope. Like, I can't succeed in life because I played high school football and I have CTE now or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like kind of cope.
Study it after they die. You have to search.
Chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Is that what it is? I always thought it was... I always thought the C was for concussion. I guess I'm wrong.
Go through their brain and you see the signs of it. And he believes that he was hit so hard during his time playing high school football that that's what led him to come to NFL.
Played high school foot. Okay, did I call it or what? Did I fucking call it? This guy wasn't even in the NFL. Played high school football. Couldn't succeed in life. Heard some news report talking about CTE. And then was like, oh, this is why I can't succeed in life, because I got tackled playing high school football. And now, rational person that I am, I'm going to go kill mid-level management employees I'm going to go kill the secretary at the NFL office. That'll show him. Like, what? What? So if it's the NFL's fault because he wanted to be in the NFL, so he played high school football hoping he was going to get drafted, wasn't even good enough to play college ball, but still blames the NFL for the fact that he can't succeed in life. It's all it's all there. Open and closed case of blackness. I diagnosed this man as being black.
Headquarters and sort of try to enact revenge against the NFL. He said they haven't done enough on CTE.
This is a large office building, and anyone that has to go through these buildings knows that there's often robust security, that there are multiple points of checks to make sure that the people who are in the building are supposed to be there. You mentioned in broad daylight, this man walks in with a rifle. Is there a question to how this was even able to happen, that he wasn't stopped earlier?
Right, it's sort of a difficult position. You walk, this guy walks in off of traffic on Park Avenue. The offices are still bustling with people. Unless there are police officers with long guns outside of all of the, finance firms and the firms on Park Avenue, it's really difficult to stop the threat, especially when he winds up shooting an officer in the back. Now, there were 2 police officers on site. It's just unclear how he didn't encounter one of the other officers.
Sounds like a potential case of cowardice from the cops. Master plan foiled because the gunman didn't know how to use the elevator. Well, that's just the CTE in action. Someone should have told him that weapon is actually illegal to have in New York City.
Cat Respecter sent $5.
Thank you, Cat Respecter. CNN anchor Aaron Burnett flamed for saying NYC shooter Shane Tamura was possibly white.
Reporting that they do know what he looks like, male, possibly white, mustache, sunglasses, in that building, isolated to, they believe, to various locations, including upper floors, is where they're focused.
Leland sent $3. Hope you're having a call in the week after this one. I've been slammed.
We'll see how it goes. We already. Oh, it's not showing the overflow there because I messed up the. But we already. So I would say very likely. Very likely. Let me just fix that real quick though. So the CNN reporter just like for no reason whatsoever just throws in possibly white.
LP apostrophe S Brothers Guatemalan GF sent $3.
Thank you, bro. Remember when the other day we were looking at that Jew who wanted to sue for defamation? He wanted to sue popular anti-Semites for defamation. I think the white race should sue CNN. CNN, you're being sued on behalf of the white race. Defamation of character, blood libel. He may be a bunch of different things, basically anything but white. The initial police description described him as possibly Middle Eastern. Moving on, Pariah the Doll. This came out a couple days ago, but I just saw it yesterday when I was on Twitter. Actually, I saw it on Facebook, weirdly enough. Pariah the Doll, the famous Bapsphere troon, has detransitioned, and he got a big write-up. I can just say he now, unequivocally. Got a big write-up in the New York Post. Fashion model learning to be a man after being pushed to transition at age 15. I was really crazy on the hormones. In Catholic churches across Manhattan and Brooklyn, Salome captivated the congregation, uplifting the faithful with her soulful singing and skilled organ playing. The New York Archdiocese Organist Training Program enrollees' musical gifts had her booking gigs across the city. But for years, Salome's bashful smile and angelic voice concealed a secret, one not even known in the shadows of the confessional. She was a he. Salome was born Miles. His story is one that's becoming all too familiar, a child with unconventional interests, swayed by strange ideologies on the internet, is hustled by doctors into a life of medical dependency, only to find himself questioning everything years later. They very quickly put me on hormones without really any discernment. Looking back, if I were a doctor, I would think this is a much larger decision than the kid thinks it is. Miles Yardley, as his female persona Salome, arrived in the Big Apple in 2022 from his native Pennsylvania. He quickly became the toast of New York's downtown fashion scene. Yardley signed a modeling contract, was featured in a Marc Jacobs perfume ad shot by famed photographer Jürgen Teller, exhibited for Enfants Riches Déprimés, and strutted Fashion Week runways for designers, blah, blah, blah. All while singing in parishes and mentoring Catholic school children in music. Soon Yardley was a regular bohemian socialite, a fixture on podcasts, was even flown to Romania to meet the Tate brothers, with virtually everyone unaware of... I think most people on Twitter were quite aware. By the time he started gaining clout online, I don't think anybody was confused about the gender situation going on there, and I don't think he was particularly even secretive about it. Deepening Catholic faith and a medical scare. This is the interesting part that made me want to go over this. A medical scare led Yardley to question how he'd been living his life. Just as quickly as he'd burst onto the scene early this year, Yardley gave it all up and ditched Manhattan's trendy underbelly for a fresh start in sunny California. I had to move to LA to detransition because I was like, I don't want to have this conversation with people. I don't want to tell people hiring me or the parents of the students that I teach that I'm actually a man. I just couldn't deal with that. It's 27. At 15, Yardley found himself a patient in the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia's gender clinic. 15. He'd been late to start puberty and had interests in singing and dancing. Classmates began to ask if he was gay or a girl. He'd never heard of transgenderism. I had not questioned my own identity before other people started asking me questions and putting that on me. Interesting. Almost like it's a social contagion. After only his second appointment, a Children's Hospital of Philadelphia doctor put Yardley on androgen blockers and later estrogen therapy, calling him the perfect example of a transgender child. I thought there would be less social friction for me if I looked like a female because so many people were assuming me to be that way, and I was not super comfortable with people assuming I was gay. For many years, everything seemed fine. He graduated from high school, taught music at a West Philadelphia Catholic school, and enrolled in Temple University to study music. In fact, he felt that being transgender gave him an edge. As a singer, his voice remained a soprano. He then met an in-crowder from New York who persuaded him to move to the city and pursue modeling, but only if you lose 20 pounds. Listen to this. I think I benefited from the trans identity in terms of being a model, being a socialite, a party attendee in New York City, and it was a cool, cosmopolitan, artistic thing to be doing with your body, right? So Pariah the Doll was going to these parties with people like the Red Scare Girls, Curtis Yarvin, all these kinds of people, right? We're in photos with them. He was in Man's World as a model, which was a bit of a scandal. BAP claimed to not know it was a dude afterwards. Or sorry, not BAP, Ren, Raw Egg Nationalist. And what's interesting is now we know the whole thing was like a social pressure delusion, pushed on him by evil doctors, caused big time medical problems. And all these people, though, who are, you know, these intellectual dark web, the alt-right neo-reactionary, you know, we're all like cool with it. You know, basically encouraged it because they thought it made them cool to have a troon friend who was a model. Yardley was becoming closer to people at his church, which he found a welcome reprieve from the cattiness of couture life. Yeah, it's almost like Christians are just nice, normal, down-to-earth people and not like, you know, these crazy socialites who will smile in your face and talk shit about you behind your back incessantly. I realize that I'm hurting myself. I'm poisoning myself. I'm sterilizing myself. The normal things that bring meaning to people's lives, I'm shut off from because I can't have children in this state. I can't do the normal things that bring normal people meaning. Most self-aware troon. The moment he began to question the experts in trans ideology, when you're 15, you think, well, I'm a weird person. I don't need to worry about that. The long-term consequences were unimaginable to me. Yeah, that's the thing. When you're that young, you have no concept of what it's like, what you want your life to be like when you're 40. Being 40 seems like being dead when you're 15. And then you later realize that actually you do want to be alive when you're 40, and you want your life to maybe look a certain way that you couldn't conceptualize when you were too young. Since quitting estrogen in January, he's come to recognize other negative side effects. I was really crazy on the hormones. I was mentally unstable and cognitively impaired and generally fatigued, tired, not strong at all in ways that I'm only now. Well, yeah, because testosterone gives you energy and strength and mental clarity. Like those are all like low T symptoms for men. Cognitively impaired, fatigued. The path has been a solitary one. The medical establishment abandoned Yardley on this new journey to live authentically while doctors were all too eager to put him on life-changing medications. There's no protocol for what to do if a patient stops treatment. When that happens, doctors seem to simply lose interest. I've asked multiple doctors for advice and they don't know what to do. A process that makes you feel physically awful. It's been difficult. They just say you should ask someone else. Anyway, good for him. Nick Fuentes, it would be awesome if Pariah the Doll became a guy again. This was posted on June 2024. a year ago.
Sailor Moon sent $50. A shame if Pack 4 was cancelled. I was really looking forward to seeing Pariah the Doll sing the national anthem.
Oh, very funny. I think that's at Sovereign House, though. I think you're confusing our event with the raw egg nationalist man's world thing. We don't have trannies in our magazines or whatever. We don't really fuck with that. So I think you're thinking I think you're a little confused. You're thinking of the Bronze Age pervert that's associated with gays and trannies and Satanists and that whole crowd. That's what's in their magazine, but yeah,
it's as loud as it can go.
The Pariah the Doll is interesting because on the one hand, he's trans. On the other hand, he claims to be Catholic. So, we got to get him to become a guy again. That would be so awesome. So awesome if Pariah the Doll became a guy again. I don't know how anybody could become a girl. How do you not love being a guy? It's the best thing ever. I just never could wrap my head around this. Like, repudiating maleness. I understand repudiating women. I don't know if I want to say that. People are saying, oh, you're gay. But I understand being like, well, fuck women. But I don't understand saying I'm going to be a woman. That I don't understand.
Yeah, see, this is the kind of thing that is super obvious when you're an older man, because life as an older man just kind of gets better and better. Whereas for women, unless they've gone the correct path and they have children and they get to be mothers, it just gets worse and worse because you go past your prime. And when you don't have children, your kind of main thing is getting interest from men and stuff like that, and that starts to fade. Whereas men, you just keep going. You just start, things just get better and better. But a lot of young men don't really realize this or understand it because they are like the young incel types. They just are envious of women. Women get all the sex they want. They get all the affection and attention they want. And men are just ignored and invisible. But Nick is ahead of the curve on that because he's like an asexual, because he doesn't care about that. He could just see clearly that it's obviously like way better being a man.
That I don't understand. So I get it. I hate women too. I don't want to be one. But yeah, so we got to get that guy to become a guy again. Make Pariah a guy again. We got to get him back on the winning team. Boys. The boys. We got to get him to be a lad. As Keith.
It doesn't get better. I mean, that's obviously not universally true. And then Pariah posted just like a couple weeks ago on this old clip. I don't even know how this came up on I think somebody maybe posted it under the New York Times article or something. Anyway, Common Jesus W saving that young man from a life that ends with a noose around his neck. The TAP data breach has grown into an even larger leak, with the stolen data now shared on hacking forums and a second database discovered that allegedly contains 1.1 million private messages exchanged between the app's members. This is what I was talking about yesterday. This shouldn't even be possible. A tech company that is doing proper security protocols, even if you had the messages, they would all be encrypted and unreadable. But as I also said, it's my dream for this to happen to Twitter. It's my dream for all Twitter DMs to be made public. That would be so fucking lit. That would be the waking up and seeing that the Twitter DMs have all been made public because of some stupid hack or bug or whatever. That would be like Christmas morning to me. Yes, sir. A second database of submids was it. Oh, shit. That's good. And And somebody had posted another video of two gay dudes with a child on Twitter, you know, as you do. And as normal, people on Twitter were saying, like, this is horrible, that poor child. And then, you know, you have the naysayers calling you like a homophobe, or like, actually, studies show that children raised by gays are like better off or whatever. And then people looked into it, and turns out the one guy he's a sex offender. He has a record. Tier 1 sexual abuse of children.
I don't wanna grow up. Wish I'd never grown up. I could still be little. Oh, I don't wanna grow up.
It's so sickening. It's so sickening because they do this like front facing, you know, look at us on our social media, our happy family. We're just like you. We're just normal people. We want a family. We love our child. And then what's happening behind the scenes is the most horrific abuse imaginable. You don't even want to think about it. But of course, the $1 million question, how does this happen? How does a guy with a criminal record for sexually abusing children able to buy a child through a surrogate mother? Redux Magazine, gay man who crowdfunded surrogacy, so people paid for this to happen. Charitable. This was like a charitable thing that people got in on. Gay man who crowdfunded surrogacy journey with husband revealed as child sex offender. A widely circulated video showcasing a gay couple's surrogacy journey has revealed that a baby boy is currently in the custody of a registered child sex offender. Unless a miracle happens, this child has almost no chance at a normal life. Right? This was the viral tweet that made people look into it and then discover that the guy was a child sex offender. You know, Twitter is like the new 4chan. Now, shit like this gets posted on Twitter, and then people look into it. They weaponize the autism, so to speak, and they're like, oh, look at, we doxed this guy, we figured out who he is, and he has a criminal record for sexually abusing children. That is homophobic. If the child has two loving male parents, there is no evidence whatsoever that he or she will not prosper, replied Bev Jackson of Alliance. But I didn't look at this article. All that stuff I said about calling you a homophobe and citing the studies, that was just because I know, like, I've seen it all a million times before. It's always the same. Another response to Bly's comment from user Louis Scott 51918 racked up over 200,000 likes and read, "Makes me happy. That baby is going to be raised not to hate people and will be loved." 220,000 likes. The community note, if true, is disgusting. Whoever allowed him to adopt also needs to go to prison. Well, it wasn't adoption, it was surrogacy, first of all. They bought a baby, okay? They designed the baby to the extent that you can. Like, it's not an accident that it's a boy. That was a choice, okay? I guess it would be a choice through adoption too, but you know what I'm saying? They designed this boy and paid money to get it. And you're one of the people. Whoever allowed him to adopt, you allowed it when you celebrated it. You're part of the problem. 220,000 likes. Makes me happy. Makes me happy when children are born into a life of rape. Just 24 hours after the video went viral, it has been confirmed that one of the men is a registered child sex offender. Brandon Keith Mitchell is a Tier 1 sex offender in Pennsylvania, was arrested in 2016 after attempting to solicit a 16-year-old boy for sexual abuse. The victim in the case was a student at Downingtown West High School, where Mitchell had worked as a chemistry teacher. They always are in these jobs where they work around kids. Mitchell solicited the boy to send him nude photographs. He also told the victim he wanted to watch him master... Ugh. Mitchell pleaded guilty to felony child pornography possession and one count of corruption of minors, and was sentenced up to 23 months of incarceration, but court records show he was granted parole just 2 months following his conviction. Part of his conditions included that he have no unsupervised contact with minors. Well, I guess buying a baby is probably a parole violation in that case. He quickly moved on to obtain a job as a chemist at Eurofins Biopharma Product Testing in Lancaster, where he has worked for the past 9 years. He married a second grade teacher from Maryland. Second grade, his husband teaches. In 2023, the two launched a GoFundMe to raise money for a surrogate, which he advertised on his LinkedIn. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say here. They raised just over $2,000 from friends and family, although they had a goal of $50,000. And they still bought the baby. So it's almost like they didn't need the money. It's almost like that was just a scam to get free money. If you put a $50,000 goal to, his partner, not his husband, whatever. If you put a $50,000 goal for something you're trying to do and you raise $2,000 and then you still do the thing, you didn't need the $2,000. You're just scamming. Redux reached out to the division Pennsylvania State Police responsible for maintaining Mitchell's registration and was informed that the state does not automatically forbid individuals convicted of sex crimes from having children, gaining custody, or exercising parental rights. While the law does prohibit sex offenders from adopting or fostering children, gestational surrogacy circumvents any such laws through pre-birth parentage orders. So, as if I needed another reason to hate surrogacy. You can't adopt a baby, but you can buy a designer baby from a woman who you enslave for 9 months to then give up her child. It's so fucking crazy, dude. It's okay though. You paid the Guatemalan woman $10,000 to be your surrogate, so it's okay. If it is correct that one of these men is a convicted sex offender, then this is deeply concerning. Local authorities must investigate immediately, including exploring removal of the child as an urgent consideration. This is not the first case of a sex offender procuring a child from a surrogate mother that we have come across. We fear this is the tip of the iceberg. Anna Slat says, while I was talking to the state police sex offender division, the agent actually stopped for a moment when I mentioned it was a surrogate baby and said, but surely there's a vetting process for this kind of thing. LOL LMAO. Most people have literally no idea how easy it is in many places, and they also have no idea that there are basically zero checks and balances in place. Moving on. I've talked about this. I've touched on this briefly in the past, but this is another like really good example of what I mean when I talk about this, which is some people get lost in the sauce with physiognomy and aesthetics and that kind of thing. So here you have a post from this guy. Okay, I agree the Civil Rights Act is a travesty and people should be allowed to freely associate again. The AG sucks for this. All that being said, never follow someone with this physiognomy. Psychopath eyes, miles above the ears, sexual deviant mouth, can't, T-zone a disaster. I don't even know what half of these lookism incel words mean. T-zone. Mouth can't. Is that cantle tilt thing I've heard about? So, you know, this is the thing. It's like, yes, you should trust your gut a little bit. Not 100%, but you should factor in what your gut is telling you. If you trust your gut 100%, you're a woman. You're a woman at that point. But you should listen to your gut and factor that in as a consideration when you look at somebody. But when people talk like this, it's like they sound like gamblers who try to tell you that they're not gambling because they've got it down to a science. You know, they're like, I've got a system. No, it's not gambling. I have a system. I have a foolproof system. Yeah, I have a foolproof physiognomy system that I can identify with total accuracy sex offenders, psychopaths, etc., etc. You know, it's a little bit much. What the fuck is going on? It seems obvious Patriot Front are feds. There's a swarm of apparent feds in your comments. And who pop up when you point that out? Arvil Platforms, Patriot Front. Jared Taylor is almost certainly legit, but platformed Arvil's project. Is 90% of the dissident right just the FBI? Old stock American look. He will kill for his ideals or become a war general that will go down in history. And then this is the rebuttal to that. Just cropped the picture down a bit. He's the only one doing anything. I mean, might as well try. The society is tanking hard. Are you face blind? I'm not talking about the entrapment project. I'm talking about the physiognomy. The project is entrapment. You sound really gay. Oh yeah? If I'm gay, then why did I crop down, zoom in on his mouth, and then analyze it with a microscope to decide whether or not this is a man that I should lead? If I'm gay, why am I autistically hyper-analyzing this guy's looks? There's a thing about aestheticism where it does become really gay, you know? And again, the most obvious one is like Hitler. Which I talked about this before, but Hitler would not pass a lot of these people's physiognomy checks. They would cope and say that he would, but you show them anybody who's like remotely unattractive and they'll say, no, bad soy, whatever, blah, 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 you know? 300,000 black women lost their jobs since February, mostly federal jobs. Shake my head. Why is that? Just because Trump admin ending DEI. And I don't know if this is true, but I choose to believe it is. And it's so funny. They're like not even real jobs. The Root, the most trustworthy source in news. The headline says the job market is strong, but black women know a different story. With federal layoffs, DEI rollbacks, and structural inequities at play, it's a quiet crisis that speaks volumes. When the budget gets tight, black women are the first to go. You know what? That does speak volumes. When the budget gets tight, black women are the first to go. There is a lesson in there. I'll admit it. It's almost like DEI was literally just a make work program for black women. I'm generally a staunch defender of the economics profession, but the fact that an 80-year-old reality show star and his ragtag crew of like 5 Alabama University undergrads are running circles around 10,000 PhDs for a year now does raise some questions one cannot ignore. Donald Trump reaps $50 billion tariff haul as world chickens out. Only China and Canada have retaliated against U.S. president's tariff war. Trump says he's considering rebate checks for Americans based off tariff revenue.
For more on the Trump administration's economic policy, we go now to Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. Welcome back to Face the Nation, Mr. Secretary.
Great to be here.
Well, you heard in our polling some of the perceptions of the economy. 61% of Americans believe the administration is putting too much focus on tariffs. 70% say the administration is not doing enough to lower prices, and 60% oppose new tariffs on imported goods. This is a centerpiece to your policy plan. How do you reverse public opposition?
Oh, they're going to love the deals that President Trump and I are doing. I mean, they're just going to love them. You know, the president figured out the right answer and sent letters to these countries, said this is going to fix the trade deficit. This will go a long way to fixing the trade deficit. And that's gotten these countries to the table. And they're going to open their markets or they're going to pay the tariff. And if they open their markets, the opportunity for Americans to export, to grow their business, farmers, ranchers, fishermen, this is going to be, the next 2 weeks are going to be weeks for the record books. President Trump is going to deliver for the American people.
Next 2 weeks for the record books, because you have that August 1st deadline. But President Trump sent letters
I'm not a
to
fan
most
of his
the major
voice.
trading partners announcing higher tariff rates effective August 1st. That could hit countries accounting for
What's the physiognomy? What's the face? What's the face reading on this guy say?
3/4 of U.S. imports. Let's talk about Canada, one of the big ones. Their prime minister said this past week there's not a lot of evidence they can get a trade deal with the U.S. that avoids tariffs. Is your message to Canada, Mr. Secretary, that no matter what they offer at the negotiating table, free trade's gone, there will be a tariff in place?
No, see, that's silly. We have a plan called USMCA, U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement. Virtually 75% of all goods coming from Mexico and Canada already come in tariff-free.
Resting shekel face. Yeah, I was always bored by tariffs, but then after going to Canada and talking to my dad and seeing how angry he was about the tariffs, I now have become invested in learning a little bit more about it, if for no other reason than I can show my dad he was wrong.
The president said, look, unless you stop this fentanyl and close the border, we're just going to keep tariffs on the other 25%. And that's what he has on. So don't be confused about it. The president understands that we need to open the markets. Canada is not open to us.
I refuse to pay any tariffs. Are you doing a lot of importing, exporting?
They need to open their market. Unless they're willing to open their market, they're going to pay a tariff. That's a simple message the president has. It's fair trade. It's reciprocal trade. Why should we have our country be wide open while theirs is closed? This is an 80-year wrong that President Trump is trying to fix, and our businesses are going to really, really enjoy it. I think the president's going to open between $300 and $400 billion of opportunity for Americans. That's 1.5%, up to 1.5% GDP growth, because the president's going to open all these markets up. You saw it with Vietnam. You saw it with Indonesia. You're going to watch all these other countries decide if they want to do business with America. Let's just open our market up to America. That's opportunity that President Trump is bringing.
Well, we saw framework announcements with those countries you just mentioned, but back on what the Canadian Prime Minister, the man you're negotiating with, said, he's assuming there's going to be a tariff here. There's already this baseline 10% tariff that we are seeing from the administration. Is that set in stone, or is it going to go to like 15 or 20%?
Well, I think what you've got is you should assume that the small countries, the Latin American countries, the Caribbean countries, many countries in Africa, they will have a baseline tariff of 10%. And then the bigger economies will either open themselves up or they'll pay a fair tariff to America for not opening themselves up and treating America unfairly. So what the president's view is, and what she's instructed me to do, is say, look, if you're willing to open yourself up and really open your economy to American
Philip
business,
Heisler sent $5. What does he mean by our businesses?
I don't know.
Fishermen, farmers, and
yeah, is that supposed to, are you saying he's not American? Is that what you mean? What do you mean by our?
businesses, then of course we'll make a better deal with you. But if you're going to keep your tariffs and your tariff barriers holding us down, then of course it seems fair that you should pay a tariff to do business with the greatest customer on earth.
All right, and I'm getting bored of tariffs again. $600 checks for Americans. Trump floats the idea of sending Americans a $600 rebate check.
Welcome back on your Tuesday morning, just about 6:45. President Trump has floated the idea of sending out $600 rebate checks to Americans. Some Republican lawmakers are backing this. So we want to go live to Scripps News Group national correspondent Joe St. George. And Joe, what are the odds that we actually get these checks?
Well, we're not going to be getting them anytime soon, at the very least. That's because the House is out till September. The Senate's about to be out. They're not canceling their August recess for this, but it's at least a conversation that's beginning in Washington. I think that's an appropriate way to put it. President Trump has floated it. A Republican senator, Josh Hawley of Missouri, has now officially introduced the legislation. So it's moving a bit along. Now we'll wait and see where the politics lies in all of this. I think the why matters here, because you may be wondering, well, where's the money coming from? It's coming from tariffs. You know, Bree and I, we've been reporting on tariffs so much the last few months, and the possible price impacts for your family. Or your
if everyone gets money, no one really gets money.
The store you go to. The reality is well, the U.S. Treasury is getting a lot of money because of all of this. In fact, just looking at the numbers, in June, $27 billion.
Sent $5. Should I spend my rebate on some new American Eagle jeans?
Apparently the stock went up the day that the Sydney Sweeney ads dropped. I thought that was an interesting thing I saw on Twitter. The stock had a little spike. It's up 20% this week or something. You should buy a Switch, man. You should buy a Nintendo Switch too. No, I don't know. So many things you could do with $600. So many possibilities.
Treasury accounts basically because of tariffs. For perspective, same time frame last year, only $4 billion. So just as if a business was making more money compared to where they were last year, you might think about giving raises to your employees. The thinking is here, well, maybe bring in the American people, give the American people a cut of all of this, especially since the economy.
Yeah, we just want a little taste, Daddy. Can we get a little taste?
Believe tariffs ultimately get passed along to all of us in the form of higher prices. Now to the fine print. If you make under $75,000, you would qualify under Senator Hawley's legislation for the full $600 amount. If you file your taxes jointly with your significant other, $150,000 would be the threshold. If you make more than that, you would receive a low.
Wait, I thought he said 500,000. Was it 100,000?
Legislation for the full $600 of us in the form of higher prices. Now to the fine print. If you make under $75,000, you would qualify.
75. So I don't, but I do make under 150, and I do file jointly. So
under Senator Hawley's legislation for the full
Switch
$600
to
amount.
Here I come.
If you file your taxes jointly with your significant other, $150,000 would be the threshold. If you make more than that, you would receive a lower phased out amount eventually. The revenue could even, the tariff amount, $600, could actually even increase in the coming months, the legislation says, if more and more tariff revenue comes into play. As far as, well, children, they would count too.
Mostly what I want is for the meme of taking a picture of the check and then posting it in the family group chat with all the Canadians and being like, thanks. Thanks, guys, for the revenue. Appreciate it. Gonna go buy a steak dinner now.
The bigger family you have, the bigger check you could potentially receive. Again, potential, I think, is the key word here. There are a number of Republicans who are saying, wait a minute, why don't we start paying down the nation's debt or address the deficit with all of this? So not everyone's going to be on board. But we like to follow the money around here, don't we, Bree? We'll keep an eye on this throughout the month of August.
What a joke. $600. What will that do for anybody, please? What do you, dude? It's 600. What do you mean? It's $600. Poor people who are actually poor, they like make like $600 a week. This is like, here's a week's earnings for free that you don't have to do anything for. It's a farce, just like the Doge refund. Don't hold your breath. It's a bribe. Make it $5K. Why would help any American? He doesn't done shit so far except line his house pockets. Money, money, money. Man, you just can't please some people. You just can't please some people. I'm very happy to take a $600 check and put it in my bank. Not a thought behind those eyes.
How did $10,000 come in last month?
I got my IRS tax refund.
Is this because of the child tax credit?
Yeah.
Because you have children?
Yes.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
So you got such a big refund, but you spent it all on a trip. If you make like $35,000 a year, what the happened?
So when I got the child tax credit, the $10,000 refund, I just wanted to.
Neanderthal sent $5. I'll put my $600 towards financing New Metal Week on the Cope.
There you go. Friendly reminder, for $300, for the low price of just $300, you can have a whole week of picking the intro songs for the Cope. You could have 2 weeks with just your rebate check, which is, you know, according to girl math, that's free. You basically pay nothing for it because the money was free anyway.
Do something fun.
But if that money is there to support you through the taxpayers, to spend it on vacation makes sense?
Not when I have debt.
Okay, why'd you do it then?
I just wanted to go do something fun. Because I don't usually have the money to go out and do much of anything. So, yeah, I went a little crazy.
Part of the reason my page got banned on Facebook, there's like a bunch of reasons, but one of the things I got hit for was I did a stream called Poor People Are Stupid. And they just hit me for the title of that stream. But it was basically like stuff like, this is like a perfect example of what I mean when I say poor people are stupid. Like they just make terrible decisions. Absolutely terrible. And part of the mentality that people with debt have, like, and yeah, she has 3 kids, by the way, very responsible parent. Part of the mentality that makes people do this is because they have debt. As soon as you give them some money, they are like, oh, if my creditors find out I have money, they're going to take it because I owe them money. So I must spend the money right away before the creditors come and take it because I owe it to them. This is an 80 IQ. Yeah, exactly. 80 IQ. Yeah. It's easy to hate the rich. Do you have the courage to hate the poor? There's there was a post about like about how like people who have like an 85 IQ, like they seem like normal functional people. You meet them, they talk to them, they have a life, they maybe have a job, they maybe have a family. But then when you learn, when you kind of dig into it a little bit below the surface, you see stuff like this. You see what it actually means to have an 85 IQ. Although high IQ people, like when when I was a retard, I was doing shit kind of like this, and I have a high IQ. So it's not all IQ, but it's kind of like with the Pariah the Doll situation. It's like you have to change your bad habits. You have to have some self-awareness. You have to be able to look inward and look at what you're doing and say to yourself, oh, I'm actually just hurting myself. I'm at all this shit that I think is like me being sneaky and getting over on other people. I'm actually just like hurting myself. And that requires some degree of IQ. You have to have somewhat of an IQ to be able to figure that out. Me, the day I turned 18, gonna start a spicy site so I can move out and get rich as fuck.
So when right go wrong, just say a little prayer, get your money, man. Right goes on. Let's go.
I make $180 a month. I mean, did you look in a mirror? You don't.
Yes, I am hopeful for today.
My content got leaked all over Google. Can't get a real job anymore. Well, okay, let me pump the brake. Again, that sounds like cope. That sounds like cope. Oh, I can't get a job because my nudes are on the internet. A lot of places don't care. What is your education? Like, what skill set do you have to get? Yeah, it does look like a troon, actually, unironically. And a cutter as well. Like, look at all these scars from cutting. You thought you were going to get rich doing OnlyFans. You're not very good looking. Your body's covered in scars.
Music and music, let it take you away and be hopeful.
Cool. Randy Fine was removed from the AIPAC supported candidates list after his extreme comments weighed down other candidates. Damn. Have you ever been such a shill for Israel that the Jews were like telling you to shut it down? This guy shilled so hard for Israel that the Jews at AIPAC were like, Randy. Yeah, weighed down, by the way. Yeah, good choice of words from old AF Post there. Unbelievable. ICE confirms to Fox News they've arrested a Jamaican illegal alien who is employed as a police officer in Maine after he illegally attempted to buy a gun, which triggered an alert to ATF. ICE says John Luke Evans, who's in the U.S. illegally as a visa overstay, was hired as a cop by Old Orchard Beach Police Department and admitted to trying to purchase the gun as part of his job. They don't give you a gun when you're a cop. You have to go buy one. How do you become a cop when you're illegal is the question. That's the $1 million question. Okay, this story here, this went super viral on Twitter a few days ago. You guys probably saw this already if you're on Twitter, but I didn't touch on it yet. We're getting into our Blacktivities section of the show here. A white couple was brutally beaten at a jazz festival by a black teen mob in Cincinnati yesterday. Zero national coverage. This has 45 million views. He had another viral tweet that was reposted by Elon too about this same thing that has like 70 million views. Grok says it's false. No verified reports on July 26th confirm it proceeded peacefully. Grok getting community noted now. The attack happened on July 25th. Grok is getting community noted.
Say they're investigating a video circulating on social media that appears to show a violent group fight. It allegedly happened Friday night at Elm and 4th Streets downtown. Our Alexis Martin has been speaking with city leaders to learn more about what happened. Alexis?
The local leaders that I spoke with say that the video is scary for many reasons and extremely hard to watch. They say it's unbelievable that this could happen, and no bystanders called 911 while the fight was happening.
The video is not only vicious, but it's horrifying.
It was appalling to see what was going on.
Right now, you're seeing short clips of videos circulating social media showing a fight on Friday night at Elm and 4th Streets downtown. Because of copyright rules, we cannot show you the full video, but you can see a large group of people surrounding a man continuously punching another man while a group of people watched, sometimes joining
Copyright.
The people that just stood around and videotaped it and watched instead of trying to do something about it, whether it was call 911, whether it was try to defuse the situation, render aid.
Yesterday, a witness who wanted to remain anonymous says she saw the altercation from start to finish, and there was more to the fight than what was captured on video. We reached out to police today for additional information
Such as,
about what happened and have not heard back.
Great reporting. Hey guys, there's more to it. Okay, specifically, care to elaborate? Fuck, man.
But on Saturday, CPD Chief Teresa Thigi did send out a statement calling the behavior cruel and absolutely unacceptable, but has not released any more details on the fight. FOP President Ken Kober says investigators have identified people in the video and are working to identify more.
That's why people are afraid to go downtown, because it seems like every weekend something like this is happening. It's just a terrible look for the city.
Ohio State Representative Cecil Thomas says this situation could have ended quickly if people use their phones to call police instead of taking videos.
If you want to live in a safe community, a safe environment, it has to be a collaboration between the police and the community.
Seth Walsh, a City of Cincinnati council member, says this was one of the hardest videos he's had to watch in a long time.
I've been watching a video like this. If it makes anybody question if they want to come downtown, then we are failing as a city.
Steve
I can't say that.
$3 okay LP. Since we both agree women should not be in any positions of authority, it's high time to remove Pajita V from modding.
Pajita V? Why are we calling Jessica Pajita now? I actually like Jessica's modding. Jessica, you just keep doing your thing, girl. Ban anybody who doesn't super chat with impunity. If they do super chat, run it by me. Don't ban Steve, just Steve. Okay, I need the $3, but anybody else is fair game.
Enough terms.
Cincinnati police say the fight was not connected to the...
Hey, guess what? Jessica can't ban you from power chat. So if you really got something to say, put $3 on it.
Cincinnati Music Festival happening just a few blocks away. But Walsh says the video goes against everything this weekend is supposed to be about.
We should be having fun as a city. We should be talking about how great the weekend was. This shouldn't be the headline. The fact that it is means we need to do more.
Kober says if you recognize...
By the way, this was published on July 26th, so the whole zero national
Road sent $3. Someone said the mega only justification needed.
Right. Somebody said the word of power. That is the implication, isn't it? No, there's more to it. You don't know the full story. Yeah. Accounts do this a lot where they say there's no national coverage, but it's like, what do you mean? Like it's not like what the president hasn't addressed it. The news, this tweet is the same day that Fox thing we just watched went up. Five alleged assailants charged in brutal mob attack at Cincinnati Music Fest. Only one witness out of over 100 called 911. Five people have been charged for their involvement. Their names would not be released. What a joke. What a fucking joke. They don't release the names because they don't want you to know that the charges are like dropped a week later, or they're given like sweetheart plea deals or whatever. That's why they don't want you to know the names, because there's not going to be any kind of actual justice here. Governor of Ohio, Vivek Ramaswamy, says, I spoke to Holly earlier today. She's a single working mom who went to a friend's birthday party. It's unconscionable that there were no police present in that area on a Friday night, or even an ambulance to take her to the hospital. Hardworking Americans shouldn't have to worry about their safety when they have a good time in our cities. Not a single local or state official had yet reached out as of earlier this afternoon, other than one police detective. Scott Adams says, someday I'll share my secret on how to avoid being brutally attacked. Hold on. I have a soundbite for this. Hold on.
Get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away.
Sage advice from Scott Adams. Family of Long Island man killed in MRI machine mishap while wearing 20-pound chain, poised to sue and ensure accountability.
It's not the first time that guy has seen that chain. They had a conversation about it before. Oh, that's a big chain.
Wow, this is bizarre. That's the wife of a New York man who is now dead. He died after he was sucked into an MRI machine, apparently wearing a bulky...
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. Sucked into an MRI machine wearing a giant... Dude, come on. I'm only human. Okay, I know I shouldn't laugh. Please forgive me.
Metal chain. His widow now says the technician in the lab dropped the ball. Nate Foy, live in New York City, tries to run this down. Wow. It's a new one, Nate. Good morning.
Yeah, bizarre and tragic, Bill. Good morning to you. Adrienne Jones McAllister says that she asked for her husband, Keith, to help her get up from an MRI machine after she received a scan on her knee. But when he entered the room, the magnet in the machine latched onto a heavy metal chain wrapped around his neck. The chain weighed about 20 pounds with a padlock on it used for weightlifting. Adrienne says she and the technician tried pulling Keith away from the machine, but ultimately they couldn't save him.
I'm saying, could you turn up the machine, call 911, do something, turn this damn thing off? I still trying to wrap my head around the whole thing. He waved goodbye to me, and then his whole body went limp.
Can't even fathom it. Now,
a gold chain would make a nice gift for a very, very good slave. Classic Norm.
Nassau County Police said in a statement, quote, upon arrival, officers were informed that a male, 61 years old, entered an unauthorized magnetic resonance imaging room while the scan was in progress. The male victim was wearing a large metallic chain around his neck, causing him to be drawn into the machine, which resulted in a medical episode. Now, McAllister's wife says that he suffered several heart attacks after the incident. She claims the technician led her husband inside the MRI room. Nassau Open MRI, where it all happened, tells Fox this morning it has no comment. Medical experts, though, say MRI machines create strong magnetic fields that can be dangerous.
Entire circle you see there, it's called a gantry. The magnet is inside there. It's huge. It's a big size, as you can see, and it's very, very powerful.
McAllister's husband was reportedly attached to the MRI machine for roughly an hour before he was taken to the hospital in critical condition and then pronounced dead the following day.
That's nuts. Wow.
Bill?
Got to be more to the story.
Turn it off. It's a giant magnet.
If you're
a model prisoner behind bars.
Turn it off. Turn this thing off. Magnets. How do they work? Now, interestingly, okay, so the hospital said no comment because they know this is a legal matter. They're not going to comment on this for the news when there's a lawsuit pending. But there was a third-party witness. A witness at Nassau Open MRI on Old County Road in Westbury told police the man defied orders to stay out of the MRI room after he heard the patient, his relative, screaming and got concerned. So there it is. You got this big woman in there, so fat that she struggles to get out of the machine, starts yelling for her husband to come help her, screaming for him to come. He starts heading towards the room. The tech is like, sir, you can't go in there. You can't go in there. He's like, out my way. She's like, what? Like, hey, don't try to tell me what to do. And now he's dead. Black YouTube channel Cartier family debate about why Nick Fuentes is right about race and IQ.
I think if you come from two dumb parents, you're going to be dumb. I think he was right about that. I think that it's rare that two stupid idiots make a smart child.
Now,
I think he's right about that.
The good thing Nick said, he said, black people, no, they just ain't gonna be dumb forever. That's basically what he said. He said, he basically said, I'm gonna keep it all the way raw. He said, niggas are dumb right now, but no, niggas could actually come and get smarter and advance, but they will never be as smart and advanced as the white man. That's basically what he said.
Wow.
Yeah, unless you have the most ruthless eugenic program imaginable, something that would, unless you have a eugenics program that would make the Spartans blush, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Agree with that.
Well, looking at different things in my life, looking at neighborhoods, the community, looking at the countries, looking at what black people are doing right now today, even with the resources. It's hard not to, buddy. That's what point I'm at. And I want to be labeled as one of the most extreme ever. Actually, the pastor today said, ain't gonna lie, bro, y'all be saying some crazy stuff.
I can't understand this guy.
Am I wrong?
I'm pretty fluid in ebonics.
I'm just saying, man, I look, man, I've been around a lot of races, bro. I've been to black schools, I've been to white schools, I've been to all black schools, I've been to all white schools. And I'm sorry, and they both have the same resources. That's why I try to blame it on priority. Huh?
Not always.
I mean in Houston, Texas.
And Oklahoma.
Maybe not, no.
The suburbs where I went to school were a lot nicer than the inner city
nicer.
schools.
Maybe
we had
nicer.
Nicer buses, nicer uniforms,
none of that matters.
nicer classrooms.
Only thing that matters is that book. And all of them got the book. And we see how much more they're funding. Black schools are funded more than white people.
They have to be there.
Wow. Shocked that he actually knows that. And it's absolutely true. Black schools are more funded than white people's schools. And this guy says they have to be. What comes next?
Underfunded.
Okay.
What?
Nicer uniforms.
None of that matters.
Nicer classrooms.
Only thing that matters is that book. And all of them got the book. And we see how much more they're funded. Black schools are funded more than white people.
They have to be. They're underfunded.
Okay.
You have to spend more.
Black schools are more funded than white schools. They have to be. They're underfunded. These people, I assume they're probably pretty big, right? Like these people probably have more money than any of us. The Cartier family. Only in America. 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube. Only in America. Black schools, dude. Oh,
On the poor kids.
I mean, hold on. I gotta clip this. Hold on. 1 minute 41. I gotta make sure that I put that clip in YCSP. Black schools are more overfunded than white schools. They have to be because they're underfunded. My goodness. That was a good one.
But they have the resources to be smart, right? So I don't understand, what resources don't they have? They have a yellow bus, a home, and a book. Why are they not at the same level? Can you tell me why?
It's a lot of reasons, bro. They don't live the same life as the kids. They don't live the same life as the kids in the suburbs. Inner city kids are poor. They don't have the same nutrition. They don't have the same resources. They don't have the same. It's a lot of factors, bro. It's a lot of factors.
I'm saying we could continue to blame it on entertainment.
I think entertainment's you know what's crazy?
I can do that.
When I was just on vacation, we was in the hot tub talking to these two girls from St. Louis. She said, we have a YN problem. What do you think causes it? Her friend stood up and said, me personally, I think it's the music. I said, oh, if my homeboy was here right now, he would be happy to hear you say that. Because he said the same thing.
He said, that's what we got.
I seen the video. Nick said music is...
The music has a magical effect on black people that it doesn't have on everybody else, though. That's the thing. The music. It's not the music, guys. The music is a symptom. The disease is, well, I'm on YouTube, so I'll just stop myself there. The music is a symptom.
Not the problem.
He just said that right here.
He did say that.
No, if you continue to watch, he said.
But that's why I said.
He said because without the music, they was going to do that. That's what he argued on there.
He is saying it is like in your nature. He said the behavior is your nature to act animalistic and stupid and violent.
And so
I've never behaved that way.
How low IQ is it of black people to just hear music and us to monkey it up?
Bro,
and
the music encourages that. The music encourages that.
So how stupid is that?
Yeah, you shouldn't let no music influence you to kill somebody.
Exactly.
I can't even justify that.
You know, we in it, we black, so we have a different perspective than him, but I can truly see his perspective 100%. I respect him for telling the people his perspective.
Perspective. I'll be honest, I don't think it's all black people that are just dumb and doomed and incapable of having.
No, he didn't say that. He said we could do something.
Well, he was basically saying, he said we freed the slaves, we didn't make them assimilate or accumulate or something, whatever, accommodate something, accustom some ish. He said
to adapt to a society,
adapt to the society, and now hundreds of years later we're seeing the repercussions of that. It's pretty much what he said. He's saying that you can't make this. He said they come from dumber IQs and now they act. The way they act and behave the way they act because it's in their nature. He said you can't take them from 75 IQs, which sub-Saharan Africans have, and bring them to 100, which is what American IQs is.
So either what Nick said is right or all these comments are wrong. All of a sudden, Candace doesn't like facts.
Candace is Caribbean. I don't know why she was so offended by she wasn't really offended.
Nick is the only one that has the balls to say this shit. So every white man you walk past, he think this shit.
True.
So either black people gonna get this shit together. No, I don't know, man. But you know, when you look at Africa and then you look at all the other countries, it's hard not to. I'm not gonna say, I don't know if that's why.
I mean, that's it right there. Like, I have to give credit to those guys. Hold on, let me go back to I just want to check the YouTube comments. They actually surprised me how they were able to talk about that in a way that was not embarrassing.
So
I mean, that one thing the guy said was really funny, but in general, like the fact that guy knew that black schools had more funding was shocking to me. The fact that other guy knew to differentiate sub-Saharan Africans as 75 IQ versus, he didn't say African Americans, but seems like he understood that part of it. It was actually like overall surprisingly like they kind of knew what they were talking about a little bit. These Cartier family dudes have a very strong base level of humility to be able to have this level of conversation. Sign of intelligence. Saying that African Americans have higher IQs on average than the average African. Blah, blah, blah. Actually, Egypt was conquered by Greece. Y'all missed the point around the 5 minute. I don't think we saw that part because this is like a 25-minute video. We just watched a 5-minute clip. Anyway. I appreciate her for simply acknowledging the existence of sundown towns.
I just realized I live in a fucking sundown town. I am in Astoria, Oregon, like right in the tippy top of Oregon, right next to Washington. And I just happened to be watching a video of some dude's experience. He was truck driving in Florida and he broke down at a gas station and the little lady was like freaking out because the sun was about to go down. She was like, "You got to get out of here." She calls the police. They come in.
She was freaking out because the sun was about to go down. It's like they think it's like a fucking like horror movie, like it's like a fairy tale. Like you're gonna turn into a pumpkin, like you know what I mean? Like it's like werewolves are gonna come out or the vampires are gonna come out. You know what I mean? Like the sun. She's like, "No, you don't understand. You're running out of time." Like as soon as the fucking sun is down, all of a sudden you're gonna get lynched.
Escort him somewhere else. He thinks he's getting the cops called on him, and it turns out she's trying to protect him, which is cool. But dude, okay, so I was like curious to see how many of these still existed, because like in places like Florida or Texas, or where I'm from originally, like the South, you expect that shit. That's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, there's
Not
just
really.
some fucking disgusting little racist assholes. People are still stupid here. You know what I mean? So
It's so crazy the way like people, like you can go on Twitter, see the videos of the white people getting like mass assaulted, getting jumped by a gang of feral blacks at the music festival, and then turn around and talk about, and you've never in your life, you've never seen that with the roles reversed in your entire life. You can see a video of black people assaulting white people viciously every other day on Twitter. You've never in your life seen it where the roles were reversed. And yet you can still go on and record your social media video about evil, fucked up white people living in their sundowner towns.
you assume that shit. You're like, yeah, well, it sucks, but like it's not surprising because that's just the way these shitty people are. But I live in Oregon, where I thought that like people are like super progressive and blah, blah, blah. And I know this place
I believe it's pronounced Oregon.
has like super racist roots. I know that like the history of this place was pretty racist, but like I thought, anyway, so I'm all like fucking over the place because I'm so upset right now. So I started looking at other videos to see like how many of these places still exist, and there's this map where you can look and it has these red dots, and the red dots are like darker if it's like certain. And in my I was like, oh, I wonder how many of these are in my state so like I can avoid these places. Bitch, I live in one of them, and it's one of the ones that
You're so just to be clear, her whole life she's lived in this town. She's never seen this.
$3, dude. I live in the South, and there is a weird self-conscience thing PPL do where they know PPL think we are bigots, so they overcompensate with virtue signaling. Strange stuff.
Yeah, I could see that. Also, Americans are just very nice in general. But like, her whole life, she's never seen racism in person in the town that she lives. But then she saw a map on the internet that told her she lives in a sundown town. And she's like, oh my God, I have to get out of here. Oh my God, the call's coming from inside the house.
That's like certain. And now that I think about it, I hardly ever see black people here. What the fuck? I'm gonna move. I'm gonna fucking move. This is ridiculous. I can't believe. And I was surprised because I saw a black comedian, a creator, was talking about growing up here, and she was like, Lake Oswego, they call it Lake No Negro. And I was like, Lake Oswego is fucking the sundown town? This is crazy, y'all. I'm like...
Lake Oswego. 0% Asians, with significant populations of Hispanic 7, Asian 0. I don't know if that 0 counts as significant. Lake Oswego is also known for its lower crime rates compared to the national average. Oh, and a median income of $130,000 and a per capita income of $82,000. Sounds like a nice place. High cost of living, with the average home being valued just under $900K. Significantly lower overall crime rate. Lake No Negro.
And I'm just gonna say, for any, like, you know, nobody will see this video. I have literally no followers. But if you are somebody who thinks you are better than other people because of the color of your skin, you are fucking stupid. Like, not only are you not better, you're fucking ignorant, and like Neanderthal little mind can't compute a simple fact. Like, skin.
I don't think I'm better than, you know what I mean? There's black people who are more accomplished and more skillful, more intelligent than me. I don't think being white just automatically makes me better. But it's a group thing. The white group is better than the black group for painfully obvious reasons. And also, I think I'm better than you, even though we're both white, because you're an idiot and you have stupid earrings and stupid tattoos on your fingers. And did I mention you're stupid?
Color does not determine shit about people. In fact, the people who are molesting children and shooting up schools and doing unspeakable awful things most often are fucking white people. So if you happen to have that little thought in your fucking brain, you need to know.
Actually, if you look at the data, white people are the worst. Did you know that?
It's just the opposite, actually. They're better than you because
some of these people just cannot be saved. Some of these people are just not going to make it. The fellow travelers, if you read Camp of the Saints, that they talk about, some of these people are going to go down with the ship.
They probably realize that skin color does not determine whether or not you're a good person, or whether or not you're valid, or whether or not you're worthy, or whether or not you deserve to have a good life or money or whatever the fuck. Like, that is such backwards ass, like, toothless cousin fucking trailer trash.
It's amazing how you're allowed to stereotype white people, right? But if you started spouting stereotypes about black people, she would get so offended.
Pathetic, disgusting. Like, when I hear people that people still think like that, that's what I imagine. I imagine you're living in a fucking in a shithole trailer, fucking your cousins, like that right there.
when I hear that white people still think the way you think, I imagine you've got like a nose ring or maybe some stupid ear gauges. What do they call that? Some really ugly things going on in terms of your face and your hair. I imagine your hair's blue, etc., etc.
You are disgusting and you are not better. You are definitely.
Okay, it's all like Hollywood propaganda. That whole idea of like that, the racist guy in the trailer park. Like she's never met somebody like that in her life. You know what I mean? And it's like, you guys remember that viral Twitter post of the guy with the Confederate flag shirt who like pulled over and changed the tire for those two black people? Like if she actually
Dead sent $3 stereotypes like clip smacking Jigaboo.
Yeah, exactly. Watermelon eating, chicken wing chucking, spear chucking, Jigaboo shucking and jiving, twerking on the fucking sidewalk. Fucking yeah, she'd be super cool if you started going off like that, right? She wouldn't see any problem with that because it's okay to do it to white people, so it must be okay. Must be okay to do it to other groups too.
Definitely not better. In fact, every single person you see of color is a.
Anyway, the average like trailer park guy with the Confederate flag is like that. Like he would pull over and change the black people's tire, whereas this woman would just drive by because she's useless. Okay. Slow news day, so I thought we would have a little treat. Employee thinks she can go home after stealing $11,000 in lottery tickets. Haven't seen this. Stealing lottery tickets. That's a high IQ move.
So I just can't just go home?
No.
Why?
More like you just stole a candy bar, okay? I guess there's a question about almost $11,000 worth of lottery tickets over. Okay. So.
But you don't have it on video that is.
I have.
It's 50-minute videos. And
I'm just saying.
We've all tried our luck with the lottery. Buy a ticket, scratch, and hope for a miracle. But what if that miracle never stood a chance because the cashier had already pocketed the winners? Meet a Winn-Dixie cashier, a single mom who didn't just dream of winning the lottery, she rigged it. She stole over $11,000 in scratch-offs and found a way to turn losing tickets into winners, hoping it would balance the register and keep everything under the radar. But the scheme fell apart when the Florida lottery noticed they'd overpaid thousands of dollars to winners. An investigation caught her on camera, scanning only the winning tickets while leaving everyone else empty-handed. Here's what happened next.
What's going on?
All right, so what's happening is we have an associate.
Okay.
We started seeing some lottery shortages over here for instant ticketing online. It started back around the beginning of July, and it's gone on till present.
So since July, this individual's been selecting lottery cards?
Lottery cards, playing online tickets. Yes.
Okay. Can we go back in there for me real quick?
Can you tell me what's going on so I can track it?
I don't know what's going on, so I can.
That's because I don't want my kids to be stuck out the door.
I know. Well, I don't know what's going on.
That's always the go. I gotta pick my kids up from school. My kids, I gotta go. I got kids. It's every single fucking time.
Yeah, so let me talk to him and we'll go from there.
Well, I've seen white single mothers pull that one too, by the way. My kid, I have kids.
So
I gotta go with my kid.
Selecting tickets mainly at the liquor store. She would just scratch the bottom to see if they're a winner or not. Discard them if they weren't. Cash them if they were. And then there's also another process on the cash register to where, like if somebody brings up.
I think single mom is like get out of jail free because no one else is gonna look after your kids.
Even without a winning ticket, and everything's still balanced on the back end in our world. But then when we got the bill from lottery, then obviously we were like, okay, well, we paid out more redemptions than what we received. Okay. And so that's when all this started unfolding. So we're looking at.
I'm not quite following the grift. So it's like she would give them the money, and then like she would pay the people and pay herself. Like she was double scanning the tickets. Is that what I'm a little bit? Am I dumb? Am I just retarded? Because they've explained it twice, and I'm still not quite getting exactly the mechanics of it.
Total that I can prove that she took was $10,653, something like that, during that time period.
Every incident on video.
Every incident on video. I got it all on a thumb drive for you. Everything incident on video. I've got the our report that shows our redemptions on our register, and then all of the redemptions on the Florida lottery terminal. Since we don't own that, I had to get that through the state, and that shows everything of what ticket she scanned, what the value is on an Excel spreadsheet. So
is
that's
there
how
any
I
type
had
of
everything.
login for her information? No, it doesn't matter. The machine is a machine. Anybody.
The machine's a machine. Anybody can do it, but it's her scheduled shift. And obviously on video, she's the only one at the liquor store because we usually only work one person at the liquor store at the time.
So basically, she's been taking lottery tickets, scanning the bottom if they're winners or not. If they're not winners, they don't away. If they are winners, she scans them, takes the money. But she found a way to make a lottery ticket a winner every time. And it's been going on since July. They have a thumb drive full of all the.
It started July 2nd, I think, was the first day that we discovered it.
All the instances. So you have like date and times written out? Do you have anything written out yet or no?
Everything's on that thumb drive as far as Excel spreadsheets.
So she's basically taking lottery tickets, scanning them. But don't they have to be activated first?
They're all active because they're all, for gameplay.
Okay. You said. I won't tell you.
Is he eavesdropping?
I'm trying to figure out what I have, okay? I'm going to figure out if we're taking a jail or not taking a jail.
Well, I need to know because
I will let you know. Once I know, I will let you know, okay? So can you sit down for me?
I don't want to lose my kids either. Okay. I have already 7 year-old and a child is in school right now.
You scratch off the bottom 1/4 inch of the scratch off part, revealing the barcode, then scan the ticket to see if it's a winner. And then you put all the other tickets back and hope nobody notices. I'm still a little bit.
I have an asthma attack, so
let them figure out what's going on and then
The music is perfect for this.
Thank you for the big 20 dono. Imports still suck. Appreciate it. I wonder if they have to if they lose their ad revenue because of that background music, or I don't. When you do like this is nothing to do with anything, but when you file a dispute for fair use, one of the options they give you is like has background music, but I've never been really clear on the legality of how that works. I know there was like some famous case where a woman uploaded a video of like her kid dancing to Prince and she got DMCA'd and she sued Sony and won. So, but it's still a little bit unclear to me exactly what the rules are when it comes to background music.
Figure it out.
Because that wasn't really background music. That was more just like transformative, she argued, and only a small portion. Anyway, sorry. It's just, I have to always think about the copyright stuff as a YouTuber.
They'll let you make a So I just can't just go home?
No.
Why?
Because the allegations, I guess, we have going on
They
against you.
still going to investigate this all.
Okay, well, now that they did their investigation. Now they can tell us what they have
No,
going on.
he said he had to talk to somebody else to finish going on and see what's going on.
Well, they're providing us a verbal statement of what's been going on since July, okay? So it's not more like you just stole a candy bar, okay? I guess there's a question about almost $11,000 worth of lottery tickets over. Okay, so.
Explain to me, it was like
he said,
So, yes, we're gonna. Is that something you wrote down?
Yeah, this is what I got. Let me see.
You want that back or?
She's right. She's adding to it.
Okay.
It's fine.
They do instant auto redemption as a hand key.
Oh yeah, the media donos. Sorry, I always turn them off for YCSP, and then I forget. And now for some reason,
we overpaid in redemption.
I need to use my authenticator code every single time I log into Power Chat, which is every single time because it logs me out. If I close the browser.
Redemptions, $100.
Oh, okay.
$100. $100. Correct.
You can just computerize. Is that normal practice?
I really should stop turning it off because nobody has ever tried to send a video on YCSP. But it's back on now if you're interested.
Because they gave her that opportunity. Okay. And then she played some online stuff too. I mean, the online's probably a couple $100, but the rest adds up to the, $10,600 something.
Okay. Do you have a printout of the total?
I didn't print it out because it was just so big. I mean, these reports are massive.
You okay?
Oh shit! You scared the hell out of me. Huh?
I've just been out here.
I'm just fascinated with the way these criminals act when they get caught because it's always like the same like bag of tricks that they go to that are all just kind of pathetic.
Well, if she was a white woman, a song would be more fitting. Anyway, get yourself a steak.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks very much for the support. Right, but what she's doing is like, so he walked in and she's like, oh shit, you scared the hell out of me. I almost had a stroke. I think I need to go lie down. Like he literally just like opened the door.
Back, so.
Oh, because you jumped. Because she told me to make a phone call. So I'm trying to think of who can I call to get my kids off the daycare bed and the school.
Her children are about to get out of school, so she was.
I know.
But I do need this data.
Right.
So
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Why don't you call dad? Why don't you call their dad, lady?
I will try to figure it out.
That's what I'm trying to do.
So while we're figuring out stuff right here, so you figure out what's going on
So
here.
can you ask them, did he get the statement that they were just talking to me about this 2 months ago?
I will gladly ask you. Don't worry about that. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be talking with them. We're going to figure out what we have going on. You have until...
Well, the real Dan, when you watch the videos, the ad revenue or whatever revenue goes to the artists who own the rights to the song. So it gets copyright. When it gets content ID'd, it's just the same thing. I know this video will get content ID'd because of that background music, and I just won't fight it because it's not. If this video was considered ad friendly, which is highly unlikely since we had Nick already on here talking about trannies, and we talked about a mass shooting, it would be like maybe $3 of revenue anyways. So I'm not gonna fight that one. Gotta pick your battles.
Talk to you about what's going on to figure out a ride for your family, for your kids and stuff. There's a possibility.
Why?
Because apparently you stole almost $11,000
And the Corey in charge that run this store, they had a conversation with me, and they wrote me up for it.
They wrote me up for it.
Just get somebody, see if they can...
They had a conversation with me and they wrote me up. So sorry. Have you ever heard of Double Jeopardy? Piggy, hey pig, you ever heard of Double Jeopardy? Well, I already got written up for stealing lottery tickets, so...
Pick your kids up just in case if you do happen to go to jail.
That's the thing, I'm trying to think, who can I call? My family don't stay here, they stay in Georgia.
Okay, well you need to figure out a family friend or somebody, or else I can call my friends with Child Protective Services.
So can I call y'all, one of the police officers that used to work with you guys?
Used to or does?
So
or,
alright,
I don't know.
so
I don't know if
Corey
they're...
Charles didn't tell you about the meeting we had?
Hang on.
See, now he don't want to say nothing.
Because he's talking with us. I told you, you just can't interrupt. We're talking now. So figure out what you're doing. Figure out somebody with your kids, okay?
Can she walk me in the
No.
bathroom?
No.
I'm bleeding. Like,
No.
she's walking with me.
No. You're not going anywhere.
I can't even go pee.
No, you cannot go pee.
How do I supposed to use the bathroom?
It's either you make phone calls now for somebody to get your kids. Okay, I'm helping you. That, or I put you in handcuffs and we just
Trista J sent $20. I actually know this bloke.
At Scratchy 2 weeks ago. It was testimony to dramatically changing fortunes since the 37-year-old truck driver was crushed in an accident 12 months ago. He then developed a heart condition, suffered an allergic reaction to the drug administered to treat it. His heart stopped for 14 minutes. While revived, he slipped into a coma for 12 days, and his family was advised to turn off his life support.
When I was lying in hospital and thought, gee, I mightn't survive this, I'm only 37, and at 37 I've got so much to look forward to.
He didn't know it, but that included an engagement, a new job, the new car, and even more good luck when we asked Bill to reenact buying his Scratchy ticket.
I just won 250,000. I'm not joking. You're not, are you? I just won 250,000.
Wait. Was he in the hospital because he won a scratch ticket the first time around? I missed that part. I was thinking about the bad audio. So what happened was he bought a scratch ticket, won a lot of money, had like a stroke and went to the hospital. Is that what happened? And then he came out and they told him to reenact it and he won $250,000. Oh shit, man. I thought car crash and almost... Well, what... I missed it. Now I'm curious. Can somebody explain to me what the original lottery ticket... So he bought a winning lottery ticket and then got in a car accident on the drive home. Is that what happened? He's Norwooding a little. Yeah. You've got so much to look forward to. I don't think so, pal. The Norwood Reaper has already showed up. Had the accident, then won the money, then they asked him to reenact. Okay. Well, thank you for the $20.
We have to listen to
It's mine. You're in my custody right now. You're not free to go. You're under investigative detention right now, okay? You know what that means? Okay.
Accident, death, one lotto, one lotto. Yeah, so is that, we got it? Okay, good. We got the timeline. Wait, death?
Okay. Just the actual total amount, so we can just put.
The people making these videos could really edit down some of the filler, you know.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question.
I see. Let me ask you a question. If a police standing in front of me, they could deny me for using the restroom?
You gotta tell them why we're in front of you. They're making accusations of you stealing $11,000 from Winn-Dixie.
Say it again, Auntie. Okay, because when I started back over here, he's saying that $11,000 worth of lotto I took. So the police stand here. I have to pee. I'm bleeding. He telling me no, I cannot.
It's this weird thing. It's like they think if they could just run out the clock, you know, that some miracle is going to happen and save them. You know what I mean? It's like George Floyd, not wanting to get put in the cop car. If I could just kill enough time, this whole nightmare goes away. If I can just wait. Keep them busy, you know, then like a fucking meteor is going to come down and save me or something.
I just asked him. He said, no, she can't even go with me. He said, I have to stand here.
Cool.
Yes.
So it's like this cop's shift has to end at some hour. If I could just run out the clock until his shift is over, he's just going to go home and that'll be that.
You go to that, you go right there? Yeah. 2-13.
She said if a female could pull me, I should be able to go.
It has to be law enforcement.
Y'all can't stand at the door. Ain't no
cannot.
in the bathroom.
Do you have I need a female reference of that.
Oh my gosh.
No,
He
the thing
said,
is,
no, I
I'm having a
cannot
female
go.
officer come here. It's going to search you prior to going to the bathroom.
Oh, she can search me. You want me to
Okay.
take it?
No,
What's in my pocket?
no.
No, I wasn't opening my clothes. This was in my pocket.
You're fine. But no.
These only thing in here is milk.
Oh.
And that's it.
No, you are fine. Okay.
He's saying, no, I
We don't need all that.
But why don't you?
I feel ill.
Go pick up your little one.
I don't feel so good.
I cannot hear you.
What's that Spider-Man meme? What's the Mr. Stark? I don't feel so good. I don't feel so good, Mr.
I'm
Stark.
sorry, when the police say something to me, I'll call somebody who used to work for the police department. She said, as long as it's a female officer, I can go. Other than that, if it's a male, I cannot go. I have to sit here and hold my urine. So, Mr. Art, so they didn't tell you about the write-up they gave me for that?
What's that?
They didn't tell you about the write-up, the whole conversation we had in here? Because I had it with Charles in court.
That's fine. I mean,
But this is about the same thing you just talked about.
correct. Because at that point, we didn't know where the loss was coming
He said
from.
he said the lotto is messing up. So whatever you're doing, you need to stop. He said because it's a lot of money for that. And then after that, it was another one for the. What's your money order?
We don't have time to do it.
Yes, I did steal 11,000, but I was already
3 days
written
ago,
up,
Lottery Police got
so
contacted by Winn-Dixie
haven't
about
I
it.
suffered enough?
They've compiled all the paperwork and all like the files and everything for
What
Winn-Dixie.
is this?
So there's a PDF up
Lottery
here with like tons of
police.
information on it about video
They
surveillance.
have lottery
I
police?
guess each actual.
I'm really only interested in the black woman speaking,
scratch
so
off ticket, dates, times, money value. I mean, we're looking at like 11 grand.
she's the star of the show. The rest of you guys are just extras.
You can read my Miranda rights.
I am, yes.
Send me up for the jail.
I didn't say that, but
I know
in order for me to speak to you, okay, because you are detained, okay, because we are doing an investigation, in order for me to legally speak to you, I have to read you your Miranda warnings. Somebody said you're going to jail, okay, but I have to read these to you, okay? So, what was your first name? It states that the Constitution requires I inform you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used in court as evidence against you. You are entitled to talk to an attorney now or have him or her present now or any time during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you without cost. If you desire to consult with an attorney first or have one during the interview, just speak up at any time. If at any time hereafter you wish to remain silent or have an attorney present, all questions will be stopped. Do you understand your rights? You willing to speak to me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Is that a yes? Is that a yes? Okay.
In her redacted confession, the suspect admitted to taking lottery tickets to cover basic necessities like milk and other items for her newborn. She
Of
also
course.
revealed that this wasn't a one-time thing.
She's basically Jean Valjean. She's basically the black female version of Jean Valjean, just trying to feed her family.
Going on for about 2 months. Her method was straightforward. Keep the winning tickets, cash them in, and throw away the losers. It seemed foolproof, but eventually her luck ran out.
Okay, but just there are resources out there, okay? And if you need help, you need to contact us, Salvation Army, Rescue Outreach Mission. There's a whole different slew of things out there, okay? We have a pamphlet at our police department, which is
My address.
so I know where you live, to make sure all your information's right. Okay.
I ain't telling you where I live. What, you trying to dox me?
We have that have 100 different types of resources out there.
Okay, what else do my address?
So many resources for you people. I mean, for anyone who needs help.
My address has to be on the report.
Everything will be on a report. This is what's happening, okay? You're gonna take a ride to jail, okay? So sit down.
Come on.
Who do you need to call?
I don't have nobody to go get my kids.
Okay.
So
My
you catch
Well, hang
keys.
tight. We have some things that need to be handled over here. So have a seat.
Okay, what will be the charge?
Grand theft and scheme to defraud. As of now, 1 count of grand theft and scheme to defraud. But there's going to be more counts of grand theft
Ma'am, the thermostat is not an armrest.
coming down the road once they can go through everything and itemize every individual transaction. So every transaction.
They were really on top of their thumbnail game, picking this for the thumbnail. That was a good call.
It's a theft.
So I'm gonna have a felony charge.
Yes. 2 felonies. But it's
Correct.
1 count now, but it's going to add up.
Okay, so I won't even get no bond. Okay.
I believe there is. Don't quote me on it, though. All right, so have a seat.
Just cut it out.
So y'all gotta arrest me inside here.
Hey, just bring that later. I don't even need it. Come on. Oh.
Come on, can you do it out the door?
I gotta do it here.
This video should have been about 12 minutes long, if that.
Hurt my arm.
Okay, well, I'm trying to put your arms on your back.
Like you're praying, like this. Like you're praying.
Stop pulling from me.
Hang on.
Please.
Put your hand behind your back. Okay. Hang on, use your hand.
Stop pulling. Do you understand
I'm
that?
down the stairs.
No.
I don't walk down the stairs.
Doesn't matter. You're pulling from me. You don't do anything that I don't tell you to do. Do you understand that?
It's like disciplining a dog.
I'm not happy.
Stop pulling.
The suspect was ultimately charged with felony grand theft and sentenced to 2 years of probation. However, after violating her probation, she ended up serving 8 months behind bars. The real question is, with all those tickets she scratched, did she ever think the jackpot she'd hit would be a cell? Drop a comment below and don't.
Look at this. Employee 66,000 coupon scam exposed. Another morbidly obese black woman. Best Buy employee busted for... It's weird. I've noticed there's almost like there's a pattern. This is one of the hidden costs of having black people in your system. That you... all the crime, like people lose money, you know what I mean? And then insurance costs go up. Everything's more expensive. Meanwhile, in Austria, they had a march for remigration. Thought we'd end on a little white pill here. White identity is inevitable. Nothing can stop what's coming. Thank you guys for watching the show. Wish me luck with my civics test tomorrow. Hopefully when you come back on Thursday, you'll be looking at an American citizen and not somebody who got deported for anti-Semitism. Oh boy. If you're the praying type, keep me in your prayers tonight. Tomorrow's a big day for me. I will thank you for, by the way, to everybody who's sending the donos. Appreciate the support. And I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.
I was born in a prison with no hope for escape. I got used to the silence as I stuck in my cage. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. You can't cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. I heard a voice, but I could not follow. It was a language I didn't know. I've seen a light, and it used to blind me. Was it real, or just a dream? No, you cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more.